Well, we are officially as close as I've ever been to a wolf. It's wild, man. It's the first time having a wolf growl at me.
On this episode, I head to the coastal waters of Southeast Alaska. In my travels, this is one of the most spectacular places I've hunted. Snow-capped mountains, the coastal rainforest, and the North Pacific's intricate bays and inlets are stunning. My guide for this trip is a man I've known for over 10 years, David Benitz. He's a commercial crabber, professional trapper, and an outfitter who's lived in Alaska his entire life. It's December, and this week our main focus will be trapping wolves and possibly hunting Sitka blacktails. Wolf trapping is a skill honed over decades, requiring patience and an intimate understanding of wolf behavior. I'll be the first to acknowledge that wolf management is a controversial and complex topic in America, especially right now, but I'm here to learn and see it for myself. David has over 50 sets of traps set over a 200-mile water trapline. And in these coastal parts of Alaska, the best way to travel is by boat. David's boat, the Sandpiper, will be our home base for this week-long journey, and we'll jump in the skiff to go check traps and deer hunt.
All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, man.
Start this thing, huh?
Let's do it. It's really interesting for somebody from the interior of America to be in coastal Alaska. It's just everything's different. It's like being on the surface of the moon. You know, the boats, the water, the air, the mountains, everything is just so different. It's hard not to love.
Tell me about these wolves. Like, so in these individual bays, there's going to be packs of wolves. And a pack of wolf could be between 7 and 8 to 20 wolves. Is that right?
Yeah, 20 would be a stretch. I think a big pack around here is a dozen, probably.
Okay.
I've seen a few packs a little bit bigger than that, but usually you get up around 10 or 12, and that's a big pack.
So these are areas that you're deer hunting and moose hunting, and you legitimately see a difference in moose numbers, deer numbers when you're trapping wolves.
Yeah, I don't personally moose hunt down here anymore, but I got a lot of friends that moose hunt. As soon as I started trapping years ago, they told me right away they seen a huge increase in the deer and the moose. But for me personally, you can just see it in the deer numbers. If we get mild winters where they're not getting killed off by the snow, and you keep the wolves down, they just keep producing. We had one of our best deer seasons ever this year. It was really nice.
I mean, wolves are thriving in Alaska.
They are thriving in Southeast Alaska. I can't speak for anywhere else. All my knowledge is right here at home. But yeah, they're everywhere. You can't over trap them. I mean, most of us that are trapping, we're beach trapping down here. So you've got all this area that you can see out here, but we're just working the coastline. So there's always core areas back in the interior that aren't getting affected.
Yeah.
You're not going to wipe them out, but you need to keep them in check.
How big are these wolves compared to other wolves that we're going to be traveling? They're small. Really? How big is a big wolf in Southeast Alaska?
A big male wolf in Southeast Alaska is 100 pounds plus, 105 pounds.
Okay.
That's a big male wolf. Most of the males I catch are in the 80-pound range, 85-pound range, and the females are considerably smaller.
Seas 4 feet. Rain. Sunday, southeast wind 15 knots.
Did you learn anything from that?
Just to be hopeful. It doesn't make a lot of sense, the forecast that I just heard, so I don't know. It's supposed to be a little windy tomorrow, gust to 35, and then be nice the next day, and then be windy the day after that. I find it hard to believe that it's going to slow down for one day.
We left the harbor probably 2 hours ago, and we've come back into this remote little inlet where we're gonna anchor up, spend the night, leave the boat, and tomorrow morning we're gonna get in the skiff and motor around. And David already has wolf traps set, but we're gonna spend the night back in this little bay. And just a spectacular ride in here. Spectacular place, man. I'm here for 6 days, which is a short time in wolf trapping days. And so we wanted to maximize our chances. So Dave already has a bunch of sets already set. So it's our first morning. We're going in to check a trap that could have a wolf on it.
I got a bait set up this creek a ways.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got 3 more sets out that way.
Okay.
So we're gonna go up and check that bait set. Then we might cut through the timber, get around these blowdowns, get over there.
Okay.
I'm carrying my rifle in case we see a deer while we're walking around on the beach. We'll use a .22 caliber to dispatch any wolf that we trap.
Something screwed it up.
Our first set, all the traps were fired off, but didn't catch anything. Gonna reset this.
So there's a chunk of beaver underneath this rock pile. And on this particular set, since I put 4 traps out around it, I got a drag over there. And the idea is when the tide comes in, pushes the scent all along the edge of the high tide line. The wolves come down, they pick it up, and if they come by when the tide's out, they'll come down, try and dig around in a rock pile, and they'll step in one of these traps.
They're not worried about what's under that water.
No, that's the beauty of a water set. All the steel is under the water, so they can't smell it.
Yeah.
And they're not smart enough to say, "Oh, that's a trap under the water," you know. But you put the bait is out of the water, so the scent
Yeah, that makes
gets
a lot of
around.
sense.
But all the traps and the drag are under the water.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple set.
What is this thing? What is that?
It's just kelp, called bulb kelp.
It's not attached to the ground?
Well, it broke loose during a storm. That end will be attached to like a rock. And this is hollow, so it floats.
That is about the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
In the summertime, that stuff will grow a foot a day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a lariat rope. You could rope a wolf with that, Dave. What happened here, Dave?
These wolves had killed the deer here.
Oh.
And I made a pea post set here. It's interesting though, something scratched the moss off the top of that trap.
Oh.
This is a wolf gland lure.
Look at that.
Put a little bit of that on here.
Dave's like a mad scientist. A little of this here, a little of that there.
They'll be back here because they killed a deer here earlier. I usually come back and check it out. Plus they like to hang out on this point. I don't know what it is. They like the sand or something.
Really?
They just haven't been back here this week. It means they're due anytime.
With no wolves in our first few spots, David shows me how he sets traps. Over the years, David has brought his dog with him on the trap line, and he would watch to see what his dog would do as soon as he jumped off the boat onto the bank. And he found that the dogs, like wolves, will seek out a high point to go and mark it. And by watching his dog, he learned how to trap a wolf. For this one, we stacked a couple of logs to create that high point that a wolf will use to mark. After we dig our hole and place the trap, we need to camouflage it. It's important that we don't put too much stuff on the trap. It's got to be hidden, but it's still got to close shut. Once it's set, we try to make the area look as undisturbed and natural as we can. And to entice the wolves further, we add some wolf gland lure with beaver tail oil to bring them sniffing around.
That about right?
Yeah, that's good.
At the end of the day, David believes that trapping is the most effective method for managing wolves.
Location, location, location. That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's the spot.
That's it.
I got some traps way to the west of here.
Okay.
Way to the west. We're gonna hike back to the skiff, and we're gonna truck it and
Try
get
to
down
get
to the
those.
other. Everything I got out here is pretty exposed to the weather.
Yep.
Everything in there, we can check when it's blowing a hurricane, no
Okay.
matter. So we're gonna take off and check these outside ones
Yeah.
today, get that done. So
Good.
we'll walk back.
How
to
long
the
a
skiff.
boat ride is it?
It's almost 2 hours in that skiff down to the far end.
Okay.
But we'll be stopping and checking. I've got some sets in that valley over there.
Okay.
I've got one down the beach down here quite a ways. We're gonna skiff down to, and then we'll head out.
Man, it's 7 hours of daylight goes quick.
Yeah, no, it'll get chewed up fast. There's been lots of whales out here. We'll probably see some whales today.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
With such a short amount of daylight during the Alaskan winter days, combine that with the distance we need to travel for all the sets, it's impossible to check them all in one day. And as the weather report told us, we're probably going to be dealing with bad weather all week.
No wolf.
Over the course of the next few days, we saw everything from sea lions to whales, moose, eagles, but still,
No wolf.
one of David's trail cameras did capture a black wolf.
Oh, there's your black wolf.
However, too bad for us, he didn't step in our trap.
No wolf. No wolf. No wolf. No wolf.
Do you remember your lines?
No wolf.
There's a storm front coming in a couple of days, so we end up tucking the sandpiper back in a bay. And we're gonna use that time to hunt some deer.
So we're trying to accomplish two things that don't overlap very well. The reason we're here is because there's so many stinking wolves that are primarily eating Sitka blacktail deer.
Yeah.
But we're weathered in here for a couple of days. It looks like super calm right here.
Yeah, it's a
But-
nice protected spot, but we can't get to the south end.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hit the muskegs, go look for a deer, but I think it's gonna be kind of slow. That's the trouble with combo hunts, especially when you combo
Yeah.
a predator hunt with a deer hunt in the same
Yeah.
spot. So we'll see if we can make it work. We've been seeing some deer tracks on the beach. There's a few left. So.
Yeah.
At least we got some exercise today.
Yeah. That means something. We left the beach this morning just after daylight and just moved all day. Probably sat down 5 different times and called for 20 minutes. But we were on the move all day, just made it back. Saw 4 deer. Probably could have shot at 2 of them if they had been bucks. You could only shoot bucks. So David was encouraged to see quite a bit of deer sign back in here for this wolf infested bay. And I told him that's why those wolves are back here, because there's deer. There's a big front out in the main bay. The seas are like 20-foot seas. As soon as we get a weather break, we're gonna make a beeline in a 4-hour trip in the Sandpiper to the southern trapline. There's also a little bit of deer hunting down there. But yeah, it's a good day. Wet and cold, but a good day. So this morning we left the sandpiper back where we've been staying. We drove the boat about 2 hours through what I felt like was pretty rough seas. David did not, but we've come back into a whole new bay. It's incredible, filled with icebergs. There's a glacier up the head of this bay, and we've got wolf sets in here.
One set's right here.
Uh-huh.
The other set's right here.
Okay. No wolf.
Nothing.
Trapping wolves requires a lot of patience. David goes days and even weeks without trapping a single wolf. So it's easy to get frustrated.
No wolf.
All right, on to the next one.
We make it to the third set of traps for the day, but more of the same.
No wolf.
David has a few more traps in the area, so we head back to the boat. But first, he wants to show me something.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This is better than killing a deer. We could have gone deer hunting today, but we decided to come up here. I'll never forget this the rest of my life, man. Golly, I'm fascinated by glaciers. Just so unexplainable, unimaginable power, unimaginable age, uninhabitable by humans, uncontrollable by anything man could ever conceive. It's just like it is a pinnacle of the natural world. This is probably the most amazing natural scene I've ever witnessed.
America's first wilderness prophets used the word sublime to describe their interaction with extreme landscapes, almost like a blur between the physical and spiritual realms. It was awe-inspiring. Seeing the glacier up close was undoubtedly the highlight of the wilderness interactions of my life. No joke. But I'm not here for glaciers. We've still got some traps to check.
Wolves killed this. That dude made a wrong move. He should have zigged rather than zagged when he was out here. He did something wrong. Little buck. I'd have shot that buck in a heartbeat the last couple of days. It's a trophy Sitka blacktail. The wolves got to him first, though.
Yeah, they beat you to it.
Golly. You think that was a healthy deer?
Probably. Yeah.
He just messing around out here and got caught.
Yeah, if the pack's big enough. Get him cornered.
Wow.
I see an empty hole.
Yeah. You think a wolf dug it out?
Everything's missing.
Oh, that means he took it.
It means potentially we've got something.
Oh,
So
so there's a drag on there.
There's a grapple. grapple hook.
Trap is gone, the chain is gone, the grapple hook is gone.
Looks like this got mowed over here. Oh, it's right here.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. He pulled out. Ah, it makes me sick. I thought we had him, buddy. You don't have very many of them pull out. Man, that's frustrating. There's your wolf. A little bit of hair. Oh, that's so frustrating.
What do you think happened? He just didn't get a good catch?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe I put too much stuff on it, or when you open it up, sometimes they put their paw on the corner, and when the trap goes off, it pushes their foot out.
Yeah.
Or if you don't get a direct hit.
Would this be like missing a big buck with your bow? Is that about what it feels like, or is it not that bad?
It does right now, but only because I want you to get a wolf or see a wolf so bad, you know. For me, it's just like, well, sometime this winter I'm gonna catch a few, but we don't want too many misses. We can't afford too many misses.
Yeah. We just boated 2 hours from the Sandpiper, pretty rough seas, to get to our set that's the furthest north of all that we've got. We've got 7 sets right here. It's pretty sketchy getting into these places because of the tides, the wind. So Dave's kind of threading the needle, even getting us back in here, so we can go check these sets right now. Good job. Made it. Let's go.
We got a wolf.
What?
We got one.
Are you serious?
Oh
Hold on.
You can see him over on the far side over there tugging away. Got one.
Got a wolf. Good job, man. Golly. Wow.
Maybe we'll have more than one. We got 7 sets here.
7 sets. Well, we are officially as close as I've ever been to a wolf. It's wild, man. It's the first time having a wolf growl at me. Whew, smells like a wolf, man. Look at those big old feet.
This is a surreal moment for me. I'm only conflicted because of the man-made noise around wolf management. I'm confident in the moral, ethical, and conservation decision of taking this incredible animal.
Oh, you got another one.
No way. Oh my gosh, there's 2, Dirk. Good job, man.
You're pretty good at this.
Man, you know, I can't believe I mean, we just rode 2 hours in rough seas.
Yeah.
For somebody from Arkansas, rough seas.
Oh,
This is a ton of work, man. I mean, and we're in
yeah.
the wilderness.
It's a long ways out here.
It's a lot. And just there's an incredible amount of skill to navigate the country, skill to know these traps, know these wolves, know this land, know where to put it. I mean,
location is everything, and then
Yeah.
you got to have the desire to get here. It's not easy to get where we're at right now.
no.
Yeah, that's a pretty one.
Yeah, it is. It's hard for me to understand how big it is. Golly, that sucker's been, him and his people have been making a living for a long time in this part of the world. Wow, did you have a lot of hope in this little section, like this set?
Honestly, I had all my hopes on this section right here.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The sacralization of wolves is a cultural invention of man. The natural world has no such mechanism. I'm a romantic at heart. I want wolves on the landscape, and I know that removing these two is of little ecological consequence. The pack will bounce back quickly, but we saved a few deer in this cove for the time being.
To me, when I see these wolves, see them up close, these guys, the predator has so much influence on the prey in a positive way. I mean, these guys, for however many thousands of years they've been here, they've been honing the Sitka deer, the moose, helping them annihilate, move away from weakness, vulnerability.
You just need human predators to keep them at bay.
Exactly. Those are probably 80 pounders.
But they're closer to 90.
Really?
Yeah. They're nice big males.
Yeah. A lot of people that haven't been around wolves or don't live near wolves have some sentimental feeling or romantic feeling about a wolf. What do you think about a wolf?
Oh, I like them. I love trapping them. I love hunting them, but I like listening to them. There's nothing better than listening to a pack of wolves light up, start howling and stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
What would you say to somebody that heard you say you loved wolves, but you still love to trap them?
Well, you got to manage them. You know, it's a renewable resource.
Yeah.
That's,
It's just that simple.
Yeah. I probably like deer more than I like wolves. So
Yeah.
it's nice to knock them down a peg.
Yeah.
But
And it's not like this trapping like this is really on a macro scale affecting the population of these wolves. I mean,
it has an immediate effect.
right.
If we get 2 or 3 trappers trapping an island and you know, between the 3 of you, you get 100 wolves or something like that, you'll see an effect on the deer population within the next couple of years. But you're not going to wipe out the wolves. They're going to breed. They're going to come back. You can knock them down quite a bit, but within a couple of years, they're right back. So,
These wolves are thriving.
yeah, they got lots to eat here.
Being well versed in America's conflicted conversations on wolf management, I'm on the wolf side, and I want them on the landscape. I'm mesmerized by their howls, yellow eyes, their pack mentality, and their influence on prey animals, and the palpable energy they bring to any landscape. And I also believe that we need to manage their numbers through science-based hunting and trapping.
Holy cow. I mean, that's as tall as I could reach. Wow. That's incredible. They're always so impressive when it's a big old critter.
I believe as a society we can sacralize the wolf, but also responsibly manage them and utilize them as a renewable resource. Long live the wolf, the wild places they live, and the American wolf trapper.